Good evening. The left in Britain is now finding out that large sections of the Muslim community and the LGBTQ+ community don't like each other. The Your Party conference has been a comical disaster. It seems like most people took to the stage and announced their pronouns.
My name is Joseph. I use she, they pronouns, and I come from West Yorkshire. I recently moved to Edinburgh.
Thank you. Amy Leather, my pronouns are she, her. I'm from Manchester. I am speaking for option B, for collective leadership.
Hello, my name's Mick Bailey Gibson and I'm a non-binary person. Give it up for the trans people, everybody!
Then speakers accused the party of transphobia.
When this party started, it included 2 MPs who were openly transphobic, one of whom was a landlord.
It will allow transphobic and racist and otherwise bigoted candidates to stand in the name of your party. As we have seen with the 2 MPs who recently resigned.
We stand up for trans rights, not attack trans people. And if we're a party saying we're against racism, we're for all refugees to be welcome. That has to mean something in absolute reality.
In the run-up to the conference, 2 Muslim MPs, Adnan Hussein and Iqbal Mohammed, resigned, citing a toxic culture against Muslim men amid reports of clashes over their, quote, gender-critical beliefs. Now, a prominent Muslim journalist and activist posted this on social media after watching the big trans fallout unfolding at the conference. Said the tiny insignificant minority of trans activists appear to be hell-bent on destroying the Your Party's chances of achieving any level of success. The UK's Muslim vote has the power to win multiple seats across the country. The alphabet mafia has the power to win a big fat 0. Your Party has a choice: go woke, go broke, or accommodate religious Muslims' right to free speech. This is a thing of beauty. Another glorious moment was Jeremy Corbyn being hounded for not being anti-Zionist enough.
I'm fed up with being painted in the corner, being single-minded pro-Zionist. Well, you've just done that.
It gets better. Some people say that full-blown socialism will never work because there'll always be too much infighting. Well, here we go. It looks like the membership already don't like whoever the leaders are.
We have been proven time and time again here that we cannot trust those who are in the positions of power and leadership in this organisation up until now. They have failed us, comrades.
Many examples of hardcore socialism in the past tell us that it can turn into somewhat of a dictatorship. And with that in mind, some members alleged that they've already started expelling people without giving them a reason.
I joined your party like all you did. In the summer, inspired, I built it, I paid my direct debit. You know what happened to me yesterday at 4 p.m? Email telling me I was expelled. No discussion collectively here. I have come because I don't accept that. I think we want collective decision-making running through, and this conference decides who's a member and who is not a member. We've heard the Greens might be allowed in. Why not the Socialist Worker Party?
Just in case you weren't clear on how dysfunctional the Your Party is, the 2 main people, Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, reportedly just don't get on. And Sultana took a dig at Corbyn on stage, and he wasn't very happy about it.
These actions come straight out of the Labour Rights Handbook, the same playbook we have all lived through for years. The witch hunts, the smears, the intimidation, the bullying, the legal threats and the leaks to the Murdoch.
All of this culminated in them being played out to a rendition of Imagine by John Lennon.
Life in peace, you may say I'm a dreamer.
Where are you going now? Where do you live now?
But I'm not the only one.
Beautiful. Look, the main takeaway here is this. The hard left spent years courting the Muslim community and the pro-trans community. They are now finding out in real time that there are vast swathes of the Muslim community who don't like the trans community. Maybe this should be a lesson to some of the LGBTQ+ brigade. Perhaps they've been calling the wrong people fascists for a good few years now.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just living credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponise against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
Let's get the thoughts of my panel. Daily Express columnist Carol Malone. We've also got journalist Benjamin Butterworth and the former chair of the Tory party, now Reform member Sir Jake Berry. So, Carol, it turns out that there are quite large aspects of the Muslim community who don't really like the trans community, and we're seeing that happen in real time now.
I was just looking at that. I can't help but laugh at every single one of those speakers I saw, because you wouldn't want them anywhere near your politics. I couldn't take any of those people seriously, not because they're trans, not because they're whatever. It's because they shouldn't be taken seriously. When you're standing on stage trying to address people in a woolly bobble hat, I can't be taken you seriously. But anyway, much more importantly, this party is they're just a washed-up load of old commies, basically, with nowhere else to go. You know, when this party started, it's taken them since their inception to agree on a name. So God knows how they're going to agree on a party. Which is now your party, which was their temporary name, but it's taken them almost a year to decide that's going to be the permanent name. And there's so much argy-bargy going. So imagine when they actually get to policy, when they're trying to decide policy. I mean, it's just laughable. There was a real chance for this party, I thought, at the start. It was worrying for me, but I just thought there was a chance it could succeed. Having seen that lot, it's got no chance whatsoever of succeeding. I think they've only got something like 50,000 members. They thought they were going to get something up to, I think it was 200,000.
They said they had 800,000 people who signed up.
Yes, they have, but some of them have gone now. And also, Zara Sultan and Corbyn hate each other. They can't agree on anything. Even at the conference, they held separate meetings of launch meetings in separate rooms in separate places. She says this is going to be what she calls it a mass democratic movement for change. There's hardly going to be that with 50,000 members, and there's hardly going to be that if they can't decide on anything.
Jake, if you want to come in on what a car crash your party's been, but before you do that, would you like to announce your pronouns?
Yes, sir. All right, Honourable, you can use them interchangeably. Look, I mean, I just feel really sorry for all the villagers up and down the country who are missing their idiot for the day. I mean, what a ridiculous conference. So, first of all, Zara Sultana formed this party with Jeremy Corbyn She then boycotted her own inaugural party conference for the first day because she'd fallen out with half the people in it because they wanted to exclude people from the Socialist Workers' Party who are now apparently allowed back in. And, you know, what I find so interesting, and I think we might have some applicants here, is they're not going to have a leader. So Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana set this up so they could lead their own political party, then fell out with each other because they couldn't work out which one of them should be leader. The membership then rejected both of them, and they've gone for a committee of 28 members, leaders, so they will have 28 leaders. Now, I'm just thinking if Carol and I...
Yeah.
We could apply, Carol.
We could, actually. Yeah, we could. I think we'd do a better job than them. But the thing is, they wouldn't like our policies either. I mean, this is like, you know, this is leadership by Politburo. It's a joke.
It is. It's bonkers.
It's an absolute joke.
But just on this, you know, to the kind of core of this, for quite some time now, people with a brain have been raising the issue of more conservative members of the Islamic faith in Britain and their views when it comes to both LGB and the T issues here. And now we are seeing that in real time, aren't we? Where basically the progressives, the kind of, you know, woke rainbow bobble-hatted brigade, are finding out that they are not really welcome down at the mosque.
I mean, look, it turns out a hatred of Israel isn't enough to hold together a movement, and that's about the only thing those people have in common. So the last couple of years have made them feel like friends, but really they're foes. I think one of the really interesting things it shows is that, you know, much of the Muslim community and sort of the black Christian community in this country as well is pretty socially conservative, more than, you know, the median voter. And so why is it that conservatives haven't been able to win those people over? I think that's what this exposes, that, you know, that actually lots of those people should be voting for someone like, God forbid, Jake Berry. And yet they've not taken that. So maybe if the right was just a bit less racist and a bit less xenophobic, these people would be in their camp.
Well, they haven't had their opportunities to vote for me yet, but you never know what happens. But look,
so you're saying there will be?
No, I said they haven't. I said you never know. Come on, you need to keep up.
But I think it just slipped out.
What's interesting about this is this is a true Trotskyite movement, and Trotskyite movements, because of the nature of their belief system, just always fall out with each other. And, you know, this is... I mean, this is not going to be a mainstream political party. And in a way, the people who will be really nervous about this having gone so badly will be the Labour Party, because this gives the Greens an open field to go out and recruit people of the left, and they are nipping at the heels of the Labour Party. If you had a split left-wing vote, they couldn't really challenge the Labour Party, but this is now irrelevant.
That jumps out for me in all of this, which is that if Nigel Farage had, Kemi Badenoch, whoever, had come out and done all of the gender-critical stuff, and indeed, so obviously, some people in Reform and some people in the Tories have done over the years. Rosie Duffield, as well, was a Labour MP, and she classed as independent now, but anyway, whatever. You know, it's come out and basically there's only two genders. I don't really believe in the trans stuff. You know, they were called, you know, fascists and all of this stuff. But actually, those views are very, very, very common in the Muslim community. And now we're seeing... you know, do you think that the LGBT lot have been calling the wrong people fascists for quite a long time? And actually, it's those people that they've been courting, and they're now falling out with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. You know, there was a poll a couple of months ago, an Ipsos poll, that said 1 in 5 people thought they might want to join your party because of what they were saying they were going to represent. But having seen that today, I think their inaugural conference will have scuppered their chances of ever being taken seriously, even by the trans brigade and by Muslims.
Well,
no one's going to take it seriously.
Why don't they protest? See, this is the thing. You know, you see these protests, don't you, at events that people do. Like, was it Kathleen Stock, I think, was speaking at Oxford and/or Cambridge. You know, huge protests outside there. You know, I'm sorry, but should there not? I'm not calling for this, by the way. But you know, by the same logic, surely there should be protests at events where, you know, there is a huge Muslim representation.
Well, it gets worse than that, doesn't it? Because GB News actually reported on the LGBTQ for Gaza movement. And I remember watching the coverage was on this channel, and so, you know, people pointing out to me is, you know, that Israel actually gives asylum to people who are gay, who happen to live in Gaza, who are being murdered by Hamas. But, you know, the facts don't seem to actually interfere in any way with people's belief. And, you know, I think the challenge is that even though there is this huge problem at the centre of your party, people will just keep on going.
You know, I was in an Arab part of Israel in June, and there was a Palestinian refugee there, and he said the only place that as a gay Palestinian that I get rights in the whole of the Middle East is Israel, which is a bit that's completely omitted from the way these people see the world. Look, I think the Labour Party won't be worried by this. As Jake says, there's nothing that thrills the current Labour leadership than seeing Jeremy Corbyn be useless because their politics are defined against him. There was a story in The Guardian at the weekend, I'm sure you read it, that said that they had 4 MPs and 6 factions by the time this conference started. So I think, you know, the Green Party is the ones that will benefit from this. Zap Palansky has really taken the mantle. They're not going to be confronted
by some of the exact same issues, though, because you've got people like you know, I don't want to put words in his mouth or anything like that, but Mothin Ali, who is the co-deputy leader, who I believe is what would you say, maybe more conservative when it comes to gender issues, right? As are, like, literally tens of millions, hundreds of millions of Muslims worldwide. There's nothing particularly controversial about that. But again, the Green Party membership, yeah, that's all about LGBT rights, isn't it? So how does that work?
Well, yeah, I mean, Zap Palansky, their leader, is very pro on those things.
Well, he's
a homosexual, yes.
Yeah. Well, so how does that work?
I can confirm that one.
This is the thing, though, isn't it?
I think they will have a problem. But look, you know, I think you should stand up to those parts of the Muslim community because it is a bigotry no matter where it's coming from. That doesn't make attacking Muslims or attacking refugees fair game, but if they say that a gay person is an equal or trans person, then that is wrong and you should challenge it.
OK. All right, well, look, we'll keep you updated on every single movement that comes out of your party. I will just say this, look, you know, as a basic principle, one of the things there is, look, we've obviously taken the mick a little bit there, but as a basic principle, genuinely, you know, it is good just to see everyone being politically involved. And there is obviously a place in politics for people like Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. They're allowed to do this stuff. We, I would also say, are allowed to take the mick out of it. But there you go.